Hey everybody, I'm back. Zazoo Plazz, Leslie Belittle Plazic, also known as Zazoo Plazz, in the woods, May 22nd, 2022. I did a little video, maybe I'll post it, of the duck family over there. The little ducklings are getting big. They're like, they were like this little tiny, and now they're like teenage young adult duck. Well, they're actually geese. Yeah. So kind of like mine. My little geese at home growing up. That's why I skipped last week. I really wanted to do a report. I feel like I'm a little rusty. I really missed doing my report. But I was stuck in a minivan. Drove down to New Haven. My husband and I actually the graduation was in Bridgeport, which is on the coast, Long Island Sound, of Connecticut, and so we saw my oldest son graduate last week. It was a beautiful day. Sun came out. It was a little chilly while we were in the. It was like one of those amphitheaters, It was kind of open, so the wind was coming through, but it was covered in case it rained. And it didn't rain, but it was getting hot there for a while. But we saw him go up there in his cap and gown and get his diploma. And I'll post some pictures. Yeah, so it's ironic because. May 18th, 35 years ago, I got my college diploma from Boston College. And it kind of just blows your mind, how 35 years, not only 21 and a half years, but 35 years goes by like that. It's like, really? So I don't know if I'll make it up to Boston for my reunion, but, definitely my thoughts are with my class and myself from 35 years ago. And it's funny because we leave energy back there, and we look at our kids and they remind us of ourselves. They remind us of certain aspects of ourselves, certain things that we like, that we nourished and see come to fruition, and certain things about ourselves that we want. Not so much. I'm still working on some of those. But now he looked like a professor up there, because this professor he had for computer science, she got an honorary doctorate, and she had her students stand up, and it was really a very nice speech. And then the various other speeches that they had. Actually, the president of the company he's going to go work for, which is in southern Connecticut, he actually gave the commencement speech. So it was inspiring. And one of the things that struck me about what he said was how he said the previous week he had been in the audience where we parents were sitting when his son graduated from college. And that was great because, on the one hand, I could see him as a leader, business person, an engineer. And on the other, he's just one of us sitting there watching our kid. What happened to that little tyke? That little guy taller than me, tall as a tree now. But the things that you want for your kids, and your hopes and dreams for them, and just how many emotions you experience as you watch them walk across that stage. So many things that you want to tell them, of your experiences. And you can't get too carried away. You have to kind of pick your words carefully. And remember, it's just a day, because once he get the cap and gown off, and we had the nice celebratory steak dinner, and we get back to his place, and he changed into his jeans, and he became, my kid again. And then we had to cart all his stuff in the minivan, in the car, and, phew. And then you come back down to earth, and you go, okay, it's not over yet. You have your moment, Universe says, okay, Mom, Dad, you did a great job. Now, finish the job. And then there's still the other one. We have going 3 more years of college, so, it's like in the middle of the hottest day when you get a breeze and you see a heron. I saw my friend the heron. You see the heron fly, and just for a moment, you think you're transported. Harps are playing, angels are singing. The next minute you look down and you've just stepped in some goose poop, and there's a bug on your shirt, and you're shopping at the thrift store like I was yesterday, because you're thinking, how am I going to pay for all this? Anyway, enough about my personal issue. Actually, that's all I'm about, is my personal stories and issues. So bear with me, there's a few more minutes of this. I hope you find it entertaining. So one of the other stories that came out of this whole thing was that karma. My dad, one of the famous stories that we like to talk about is how my dad brought his camera, his fancy schmancy 35mm camera, up to Boston for my graduation, right? And there's 2,000 people graduating. And there's a big football stadium full of people. And, then we go to our smaller business management thing, and I was with my roommates, and this whole time he's shooting away on the camera. And then, at the end of it, he goes and opens it up, and there's like, the film got jammed, or it got exposed, or something. Back in the day, kids, or those of you who may have forgotten, we had film cameras, right? 1987. It was the best of times and the worst of times. And my dad has never been one who's good at technological gadgets. He's a computer programmer his whole life. Ask him to work a camera. Okay, so no. This particular time, I have no pictures of my college graduation, except for the ones that my roommate's parents took, and the one the college takes, when you go and you walk up and you get your piece of paper. Although they mailed me the diploma because it's this big and it's in Latin. And it's on my wall, like my whole wall. That's what happens when you go to a Jesuit school. And, my UConn, my master's degree is about this big, and it's in English. But the other one, so I do have those, and, I guess I have kind of rubbed it in a little bit over the years. So my dad was prepared, I guess, or subconsciously thinking he was going to clear this up, because he's 85 and it's time to, move on from these things, people. So he, my husband and I were, everybody, the ceremony's over, people are filing outside, and there's the big class of 22 thing on the Jumbotron, and I said, Dad, could you take a picture of me? And, my husband here, Gary, and so Dad said, okay, and it's like, you're expecting beep, and so he's standing there, and he's got his hand on the thing, and I'm like, everything okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm waiting for the flash. I said, Dad, it's not good, it's not gonna go off, it's not gonna go off, it's, because he said, oh, he took 45 pictures, essentially the same picture, and then, because when I went to download my pictures, I see, and you can tell by the end, my eyes are looking over here instead of over here. They're like, what? And my husband said, kind of looking concerned by the end. So he says, is that enough? Did I make up for that, not taking enough pictures? I said, okay, touche, Dad, you're off the hook. And then we took some nice pictures and some funny ones and this and that. But if you have parents, octogenarian parents who are a little shaky with the technology, it does make for good stories, but it can be a little exasperating in the meantime. You know, that was one story I wanted to tell today. Yes, and so my dad, every now and then, he'll call and he'll say, to my youngest son, he's going to be playing this summer in my dad's community band. You know, my dad plays the clarinet. He says, I went and got him, a tuba. I got him a good, brand new tuba from some lady who has connections. You know, got him a free tuba on loan. And he says, when can you come get it? And I said, okay, taking a scan of the living room. I said, I just got rid of the tuba last year when the kid graduated. And now he wants me to put the tuba back in my living room where I already have, no lie, I've got two electric guitars, one bass, one regular, an acoustic guitar, a banjo, and then at the other end there's a trunk. Oh, it's a chipmunk. A trunk, assorted bedding, a laundry rack, and a bunch of other piles, to which my husband would say, hey, don't step on those piles. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm trying to get to my chair to watch a show or, you know, read a book or something, and there's so much stuff. I'm like, in my laundry room has just flump. They just came home, flump. They put the laundry in there, and we just got the laundry room cleaned up. It was beautiful. And then, flump. So, I'm thinking, I'm going to go back to Arizona, except it's like hotter there than it is here. So I'm just going to be stuck in my house there if I go there, and, you know. So, yeah, it's kind of like we're living in, you know, which is the song for today. It's kind of apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic, you know? In my house, at least. I spent the whole spring planting the nice garden and, you know, getting everything nice. My son comes home with his girlfriend and they go off, you know, they're going to go to the swimming hole and they look impossibly beautiful and cool and just effortless, you know, and he's going to go jump off the swimming hole bridge and into the, you know, it's like, you know, they all look like they could pose for a magazine. And they take off with their little hippie shades and their little, like, you know, jean shorts. And my husband and I are sitting there looking at each other. If you happen to be in this situation, just give me a shout. Give me a comment or a like or something. Because this is our lot right now. And I'm trying to figure out how to keep the tuba out of my living room, out of my house. Maybe I could just buy a little tuba house for the backyard. Even better, I could get a little she shed, you know, a little portable she shed, and I could just go live there until like the end of August. There's an idea. They'll come looking for me when there's no food. So, like I said, we had a big eclipse in Scorpio. I guess I'm getting hit, right? Because I'm a Scorpio. I'm going through all my old articles from when I used to write for the local paper, and I am archiving everything. I'm scanning. I'm getting rid of, you know, all this paper, all these things that I've carried around with me. I'm starting fresh. I'm really digging deep. You know, even though it's tempting, isn't it, to want to, oh, once you go on there and you start looking for jobs, I think when I need a new adventure, in the past I would just, go out there and things would find me. And I don't think I've ever actually ended up doing a job that was posted in the newspaper. People have always made jobs for me, or I've made my own. So now I'm making my Zazoo, my universe, my Zazoo verse, and I'm gonna do newsletters. I have all these plans, but every now and then it's just tempting to say, oh, what's out there? So, but like I said, I get lucky. I guess I am a pretty lucky person, but it's all in your attitude. Which brings me to the song for today. You Got Lucky. Tom Petty, 1982. It's been 40 years. And I Googled it. I kept hearing the song. You got lucky with me when I found you. And that's, I think this way about my career, because I've never really had a traditional, what I call a traditional career. So I'm great with these times, I've always just pieced things together. I did some systems consulting in the 90s. I always have my pulse on whatever's next, and I kind of do that. So I think of it in terms of my career. You got lucky. Not that I haven't been lucky in love, which, I think I have. In that department, I always seem to, I don't know, I always meet people. So I'm not talking about that today. But, for me, it's the concept of universal love, because I'm Moon in Aquarius. So it's not so much love, goopy, you and me, blah, 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 romance, whatever. It's more of this, and this song is perfect. It's, because it's like a Mad Max, dusty, future, gray kind of thing, and they come along and they find, video games, and that's the stuff we were doing in 82. I was in high school. They come with the little sidecar and the little motorcycles, It's just so cool. It's almost been October 22nd, 1982, which will be 40 years that video landed on MTV, and it's just awesome. I miss Tom Petty. But the thing is, they say, good love is hard to find. You got lucky when I found you. It's funny, because luck is what you make of it. You make your luck, really. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff floating around on there. And if you choose, you can ask for some of it to come. Like my son now who's graduated, he's looking for an apartment. I said, next new moon, or even the full moon, I said, you write down. Anytime, you write down what I want in an apartment, and you say down to the letter what you want. That's what we did when we were looking for a new house, and then we ended up building our own house. But we found the land almost the next week. I said, sweetie, just write down what you want, down to whether you want a roommate, and just let it go. So, good love is hard to find. Well, if you think it is, it will be. That's my wisdom that I'm passing on today. Like I said, I went out. Now, what's hard to find? Clothes that fit for women. I come close to swearing when I'm clothes shopping. I am not a patient shopper. My mother used to drag me along shopping when I was a kid. I'd play underneath the racks, and I'd be so bored. And she would shop for hours. There was some place called Hit or Miss. Like, Hit or Miss? Why would they call a clothes store Hit or Miss? Because sometimes that's how shopping was to me. She said, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get a hit. Sometimes you get a miss. Miss? She'd say, you gotta go to this particular store. There's a chain, these pseudo discount stores. You know which ones they are. They have an X in the name. you go there. She used to say, you gotta go there on Tuesday mornings because the truck comes in, and I talked to, you know, Jenny or Jessica or, you know, Jolene or whoever. Say, she works in the back, you know. This is what my mother would say to me growing up. She said, you know, you gotta go. You gotta get the good ones. You gotta get the fresh clothes right off the truck, you know. And then they put them, you know, take the one in the back because it's fresh. It's not, people don't touch it. You don't want to get the ones that everybody's touched and tried on. She used to say, she was way ahead of her time. She said, you gotta go when the truck comes. You gotta go on Tuesday. So I'm in this thrift store. Let's just say it's with the big red bag. And I'm looking at, ooh, $3 for this blouse, you know, and I'm throwing stuff in my cart. Because that, to me, if I see name brands and I see $3, $6, you know, and then I get home and it's like, But anyway, so that's the thing. I'm in the thrift store having a ball, and on the intercom comes this voice that said, Seniors, Tuesday, you get a 10% off on Tuesdays. Or if you're 55 and over, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I am not a senior. I'm yelling at the ceiling, you know. I was throwing a fit. Nobody saw me. You know, I was throwing just a hissy fit in my own universe. Like, what the heck? And then it kept coming back on. I'm like, I am not a senior. I'm 56. And I have whatever. But, I mean, what the heck? I said to my husband when I got home, I said, that is really sad. Not to be 56 and a half, I feel great. I feel like 25. But the sad part is that I'm in the thrift store, and I got the 20% discount. And then what would be really sad is if I found myself shopping in the thrift store on Tuesdays to get the senior discount. He would do that. My husband would do that. But I'm not stooping that low. And if you're listening, managers of this stupid place, we are not seniors. That's 65 and over. So don't give me that. I get that stupid card that starts with the A, ends with the P. I shredded it up. My husband used to fish it out of the trash. Like, I'll use it. Till he turned 50. And now he's like, I don't want that. I'm just saying. Oh, I got a lot backed up because I skipped last week. So, you know, why can't they make shopping for women an adventure? Why can't it be like men? You know, you go, my son comes back, I went to, you know, the mall and I got myself 2 pairs of shorts and a couple t-shirts. And he's out of there in half an hour. I have to spend like 2-3 hours just to get, you gotta, it doesn't look. And I meet people. I met this lady. She's like complaining about her long torso. I say, I have that problem too. It's not a problem. It's a, you know, particular challenge. She's like, oh, how does this look? And we're like helping each other out, trying it on. It was a nice navy blouse. It had little ties at the thing. I would have bought it if she hadn't. But I said, oh, I love those pants you've got. You know, girl talk. You live in a house full of guys. I'm like, I'm desperate for female, you know, complaining. There's another plane. Oh, God. There's another plane. So, hi, take me with you. Okay. So I gotta go home. I gotta do laundry and go get myself another pair of shorts. Use up my cash in my wallet at the other store before they go out of business or get acquired or something. Lots of changes in shopping, food. We got our garden going. The tomatoes are getting tall and the peppers are growing. My younger guy. He wants to grow some like hot peppers. I'll leave that to him because I don't know what kind he likes. He likes the hot, hot ones because he's an Aries, like Aries fire. Like, okay, we gotta get some fire in the garden. Okay, so anyway, it's getting itchy. I was growing my hair out for the graduation and I cut it again because I couldn't stand it. But you know, at least I'm saving money at the salon because I figured out how to cut it myself. Oh, and the other thing is, you can't make this stuff up. My mother-in-law called my dad this morning. She says, I'm watching the Catholic show on TV, and the Pope is naming the next saint, and it's Saint Pauline. Now, my mother died last June 19th, and her name was Pauline, and she grew up in Fall River, Massachusetts, where they had mills, right, where they made clothing. So this Pauline was from France. My mother was French, but American. This Pauline is French, from France in the mid, like 1800s, I think she was born. And she worked, or her parents were in the silk business or something, silk workers. And she was from a comfortable background, and she made herself, you know, hang out with the poor people because she wanted to, you know, get closer to God, I guess. So this is all very interesting. She said, "Oh, you know, your mom's namesake here is going to be, you know, beatified." I said, "Wow, leave it to Mom. She's been busy working for Pauline to be canonized, beatified." Anyway, so yeah, I guess people whose names have Paul in them are pretty strong characters. It's a strong name. So anyway, I gotta run. I gotta go. Get back to the campground. Make sure there's no tuba in my bedroom. I have to keep my boundaries, you know? I can't let the tubas take over. I mean, pretty soon my house is gonna look like an orchestra pit. It already looks like a rock band lives there. Got groupies. I got groupies hanging out in the minivan in the front of my house. I don't know what's going to be there when I get back, but I'll see you next week anyway. Hang in there and yeah, look for new and exciting things to come on the Zazoo network. What is that thing that just dropped into my bag? Ah, I hate bugs. Well, take care. Yeah, hope you have a lucky week. Make it lucky. Tell yourself, I'm lucky. You're lucky in love, lucky in finances, lucky in life. Take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.